Okay, right. Well, we have a clock now as part of this new cockpit, and, yeah, my hours are really, really messed up, it seems. Because I wouldn't have said that this was, like, so close to midnight, even even in, like, spring. So, yeah. But that said, I have established a little bit more of a wider kind of run up here. We've got a platform to actually park the rover on, and it's now capable of actually connecting directly to our setup here. I also finished up the O2H2 generator, but it does need some tanks in order for us to actually use it for hydrogen and the like. And it is now happily charging up quite well, honestly, and that means that it is perfectly capable of going from here to the mining site and back. So that means we've got a couple of things to work on today, and I think the first one's going to be hydrogen, because I've got 100 hydrogen on me right now. I've got a full tank, as it were, but that is mostly just because this one has some backlogged, and consequently is capable of actually, like, restocking that, but the actual battery here is pretty much always dead. There's just not enough sun to really keep this going. I'm pretty sure half the time this is actually sliding slightly further down the hill because it can't keep power to the landing, the landing grips. So, yeah, I think that we'll have to retire using Sycamore 1 in the very near future, which is a pity. Sycamore 1 is a nice little thing. But we can still keep it as some kind of historical monument, I guess. And meanwhile, I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on in here because I can just so happily just ask, and it'll just all happily just run over, fill the whole rover, bring it over, and it'll happily just all get shoved in. It's beautiful. I love it. That said, I don't currently have the resource to make even steel plate, so I probably will not be able to start with the hydrogen tank here, which is the major thing I need here. Yep, requires a fair bit of steel plate. So, at least for today, I start with a heck more mining. So, off I go. Half an hour of mining later, and we should have pretty much a full stock. We still got space in both the cockpit as well as the connector, so we're actually not that heavily laden. I could shove more into this, but now comes probably the worst part of this whole ordeal, which is reverse parking. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this, even with a reverse cam. But nonetheless, I think I can manage it. Oh boy. As long as the middle wheels get in touch, pretty much we can always make our way up. Okay, ready, go. And let's, just for good measure, put that up too. Nice. Okay. And all of it is already getting processed. Oh, it's lovely. It's lovely. I love it so much. Okay. So we're looking at the refineries, or the refinery, I should say. We only have the one, after all. It is just chomping down all of the stone that we just brought over, so nice. So now I can order up some steel plates. And it will not take it very long at all to go through and get enough iron to actually craft those together. We can see it's already equalizing there. Nice. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Steel plates, please. So we want a hydrogen tank, and later on we'll also want to have an oxygen tank, but for right now we are mostly... Ooh, jeebus, that's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Okay, right. That's gonna require some finagling a little bit, but I think I can just about manage some finagling. So to about there... Oh, does this need to be This needs to be downset. Oh, this is the opposite direction it needs to go. Okay. That should about do it. There you go. Okay, yeah, there's points on all sides. So there's where the tank will be for hydrogen. Lordy. And it requires quite a bit of pieces. Quite a bit of pieces. Okay, right, well. I'll get to work on this, I guess. And then I'll actually be able to restock my hydrogen from here as well. Gotta say, that one wind turbine is really doing the work. Well, that's bothersome. Quick bit of northern muscle later, and it's back upright again. And we shall never speak of that again. To cut a long story short there, what happened was, turns out when you have a cargo vehicle and it's unloaded, it's really nippy. Really nippy. This is gonna take a while, isn't it? Alright. This should be the last bit of stone that we need in order to manufacture. Hurrah! Okay, so this isn't gonna be all of the steel plates this needs. It needs about another 120 on top, but this should get it to functionality, and then it should start actually working. Oh, nice. Okay, very barely. But let's check ya. Hydrogen tank. Okay, if I drop a hydrogen bottle in there, are you gonna be functional? Yes, please. Hello? Hydrogen tank. Filling. Hooray. Okay, yes, good. Working. So we want to put that onto stockpile so it doesn't actually get used by anything. And let's put that on auto refill so it'll fill up any bottles I shove in there. And I think the bottles are probably too big to shove through the small connectors in the industrial cockpit up there, but nonetheless, that should mean that we're able to actually access it. Let's see. Let's see. Oh no, we can actually put them right there. Perfect! Hooray! Okay. Mind you, that's via this small access point here. Let's try and see if we can send it through from here. Really hoping we can. No. We can't. It's too large for that. But nonetheless, we do now have a hydrogen tank actually storing and processing all sorts. So yay for that. Also, it's completely out of ice. It's completely 100% out of ice. Once the O2 H2 generator is, I think. Let's have a quick look. No, plenty. It is. Oh, it is working through that quite rapidly though. Oh, that is a lot of hydrogen. That is a lot of hydrogen. But anyways, have I even been up like around about doing anything? No, I've been up for like an hour. Oy. Okay. I know that doesn't seem like a lot done in like a single day of work, but I have honestly the worst migraine today. I think honestly it's all the snow. I think the snow and the sun reflecting off of it is actually doing me a mischief, because it is murder on my eyes, and I don't really have anywhere dark to rest. Like, you've seen how dark it gets here, like, at night. It's not much, honestly. So, yeah, I don't really have anywhere dark to rest, and I might actually just go over to the cobalt pit, as it were, and just rest in there for a little bit. But yeah, I think that's the most I'm getting. And honestly, like, I've built a basic foundation for one person living at the very least. Not quite civilization just yet, but one person. I think I'm deserving of some kind of rest. Like, I think I can take a sick day at this point. Like, I think that's fair. And I hope you people who are observing this and therefore judging me at home are able to agree with me in that regard. But, well, yeah, it's filling up quite nicely, isn't it? There's a lot of hydrogen right there. A lot of hydrogen. Woof. Loving it. But anyways, I will catch you all, hopefully when my headache subsides. Oh, don't look at the sun. Don't look at the sun. Oh. This visor does not help very much, by the way. Just, oh. Okay, so this particular this particular record might not necessarily be coterminous in like terms of days, but I'm feeling a lot better. I did actually like go down the cobalt pit at one point, and it is actually dark enough down there for most of most of my headache woes. Although I will say, kind of pushing the limits of my ASS there. Ooh, got a bit numb. Anyways, I have done a bit of progress over here. So I have added this steeper, well, less steep, I should say, incline, because it turns out that the Recon Rover at full capacity kind of struggles to get up here. And when I say kind of struggles, I mean there may have been rocks flying everywhere at one point, and I may have had to repair the rearmost storage container and connector and all sorts. Also, I added this button. Just for convenience sake, really. There's one each side. It's just kind of helpful. Got the hydrogen fixed and also set up the oxygen up there, which is less of a priority. I don't actually have a need for oxygen, unless I find a really big hill around here. But you know, they're getting easier to spot, I have to say. And other than that, we're still working on hydrogen. It's still going quite nicely. And I've done a few trips back and forth with the Recon Rover. I had to, okay, yeah, the blue here. I did figure out paint a little bit. It's not my best work, I have to say, but nonetheless, this exists purely so that I can actually align properly when I'm in reverse. Though just for added measure, I did put a camera here, because I don't have that otherwise. So, yeah, reminder, I don't have a license. Like, 3-point turns is not exactly my forte. But, anyways, so we've gotten hydrogen tank going, which means I have plenty of hydrogen. So, our next job begins... I'm trying to think. It's either going to be the cobalt pit over there, which is 500 meters away, or it's going to be over there, which is where I get most everything anyways. And I think it's probably going to end up being over there, on the sheer basis that I need a lot more iron than I need cobalt, and that is less than 500 meters drive. So, yeah, if I encountered like a place that had iron, that would be lovely. But as it is, I think I'm going to mostly just be going over there. So we're going to try and set up our very first little spot of actual mining. Actual, like, intentional mining. So, not me with a drill for days on end, really messing up my head, because I'm a programmer. Like, by all rights, I would not have been ordinarily picked to go to the Arctic, but here I am, because I was the most expendable-ish. Or at least I was the person who actually had the most to like, theoretically prove. Okay, so, got 500 of that so far. Just gonna put a couple more of that on the list here, and then hop on over and see what we can get sorted out. Now, this is gonna require some drilling, naturally. Big drills. We have two basic sizes of drill, and there's one for really freaking big, like, Garzweilers, and there's one for things more the kind of size of the Recon Rover. I don't think I can actually equip one to the front of the Recon Rover, nor would I particularly want to, given its kind of significance and importance and difficulty of weights. But we might have to just starting out, just so I can actually get more materials, although either way they have to go through the one refinery and the one assembler right there. So, you know, there's that. But we'll see what I can do. Right. First we're going to need over here, of course, is going to be a turbine, because we are going to need electrical power over here, and quite a bit of it. We cannot rely upon solar, as bountiful as it is at this exact moment. It ain't gonna stick around for us. So, here's the pit where we have been hitherto digging, and I think this is a decent place to start. So, let's just figure out... I mean, I'm gonna have to drive up the Recon Rover here a whole bunch, and really this is gonna be the good starting point for wherever the exit point is, I guess you'd call it. So how do I want to actually align this? That is the question. probably closer and lower to the ground down here, I think. But up here is decent enough for where we're going to be putting the rest of this. So let's start with that. On that. As high as we can take it. Give or take. Okay. Job 1, electrical power. Job 2, some means of storage, followed by a conveyor line to a series of pistons leading to a rotor. We remember rotor, we haven't quite done pistons just yet, so hopefully I get this right, because otherwise it might flail into a horrific mess. Which it may do anyways, but you know, we're gonna find out. You know, every single time I come over here and I do some digging and I chuck it into the back of this thing, I feel a little bit more and more like I'm doing something the local council has outlawed. I feel like increasingly like this is something on par with fly tipping. This feels illegal somewhat, but ain't no law in the ice, I guess. So for at least the time being, I'm completely blameless. Okay. Once again, let's see if I can actually capture it on camera that I'm capable of performing a 3-point reverse. Is that what this is called? Oh god, if I've just failed by sheer virtue of naming this, then I will be incredibly embarrassed. Okay. And reverse. Maintain a decently calm and aligned posture so that we can interact with the station. Ha! Got it in one. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, yeah. Just needed to do a big dig in order to actually get some more materials for this. But it is coming along. We have the turbine providing power, and we have the cargo container presently holding nothing. But that will change in the very near future. Hopefully. But we need to get it hooked up with a conveyor sorter, as well as, of course, a connector so that we can actually connect the rover to it. So that is power, storage, somewhat, and a conveyor sorter and a connector so we can happily hook up the rover over here and it won't necessarily run out of power like it's done maybe at least once while I've been ferrying stuff back and forth here. The last time that happened, though, was before we had the connector over there, so now it gets a lot more power, and that's happening less. But, you know, having a place to park is always nice. Did have to do a little bit of renovation here, just to make sure we actually had, like, a decent spot to park. But, nonetheless, there we go. Okay. So, the sorter here is responsible for ensuring that all of our stuff actually ends up where we want it to be. So, all the storage from this container ends up via the drain all feature chucked into this connector where we can then drain it out through to this rover and then we can just drive it back. But of course we need to actually put stuff in there and that's where the next piece comes up. So we have a bunch of conveyor tubes to place and I do not have the materials on me to actually fill these out just at this exact moment, but you know, we're gonna work on it, we're gonna work on it. And we want to be stopping ideally about middle of this hole. Which I think is maybe one more out. I think. I'm not exactly used to building in midair, but here we are. And then we just put a junction there so we can actually connect up to that. Okay, let's have a look. See if I got that in the right place. Could maybe do a little bit to the left, but it's probably fine. Oh, rocks. Eat. Inventory full. Well, that's fine. I figured that would happen. Okay. So, just shove the rocks in here for the time being. It's where they're supposed to go anyways, and they will not stay in there. Very good. And now we need to place a bunch of pistons. And again, I don't have the resources on me exactly right now to actually, like, plug these in 100%, so we will not be doing that just yet. But we want them facing down as well as we can. Come on, I know you can do it. There you go. And that's probably about as low as we can get. Okay, so the next thing that we need is a rotor, but not quite the ones that we're accustomed to. We need the advanced rotor. So this one is distinct from the other rotors that we've used by sheer virtue of the fact that it's actually capable of transporting items across it. That's pretty much about the only meaningful distinction. I don't 100% understand the engineering behind it, but basically it's just that there's a tube going through for passage of itemry. That's about it. That's all that we need to know about it. Again, I was not part of the development team that actually designed most of this stuff, so don't take what I have to say on it to be 100% verbatim. Okay, what are we interacting with there? Is it just because that's not finished, I wonder? Okay, yep, you're gonna be itinerant like that. I'm guessing it's just because there's more stuff here. Okay, if that's not enough, I will eat my hat. There we go. Okay, now this does come with its own particular rotor piece at the top, well, I guess in this case bottom, and we actually need to get rid of that. That is too big for what we are trying to do here. Because it actually needs to be a small part, but onto that small part, we can then place small-scale drills, which is significant over using the usual big-scale drills, because the big-scale drills are about 3 times as like, material-intensive. So, hopefully by my next report, I will actually be able to show off what we've got here, and I won't have to worry about digging by hand pretty much ever again. But I've been awake for quite a while, even with that little nap. So, what time even is it? Oh, yeah, it's been basically a day. So, I should go get some actual proper rest. Probably still sleeping in the rover, but you know, I'll try. Once we have materials, then I can actually build a bed. That'll be a thing I can do. But until then, I shall catch you all next time. This video brought to you by my wonderful patrons at patreon.com/lying.